Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the On the Go Show with Jacob and James. Let's get up and boogie to the beat of the On the Go Show. Don't be lazy, come on and get up, get down. Let the fun take over your body. Dance to the rhythm of that funky beat.
Well, James, I would like to start this episode off by congratulating Ozzy Osbourne on his recent promotion from Prince of Darkness to King of Hell. And that sounds offensive to some people.
A little bit.
But it comes from a place of respect. Also, I'm not condemning the man to hell. I'm saying he's going to be on the throne. He's taking over. And I had a better take yesterday. I had this better planned out yesterday, but it's okay. So, Ozzy Osbourne passed away, unfortunately. Well, okay. Let me ask you this: have you seen any of the clips from his last concert?
No, I didn't see any clips of it, but I heard that he had a last little tour, and he was thanking everybody and stuff like that, which is, that's one way you want to go out, with thanking everybody and everybody appreciating how you lived your life and what you did for people. Yeah. I thought that was very cool.
It was a huge show festival. It was a 9-hour pretty much festival that they put on. Essentially, all these rock bands came out, all these metal bands came out in support. Black Sabbath played, and then Ozzy did some solo stuff.
That's pretty dope.
It was incredible.
That's pretty dope.
It was really incredible. The unfortunate thing is they had to strap him to a chair because the Parkinson's, he had to be strapped to the chair. And that makes sense. That was kind of upsetting to watch. And when I was watching that, I kind of knew then that Ozzy didn't have much time left. You know what I mean? You just see some things sometimes and you're like, that's definitely a sign. Guy's not going to be around much longer.
Oh, yeah. Parkinson's usually takes you out like that. Muhammad Ali, he couldn't stand anymore, and he could do barely anything anymore. It's upsetting seeing Michael J. Fox. When I see Michael J. Fox, I kind of get emotional because I love Michael J. Fox. Yeah. He's one of the guys I've idolized.
That guy's been dealing with that for years, decades, too. Long
but
time.
It's progressively got worse and worse now. And that's what Parkinson's does to you, unfortunately. And it does suck to see. I can imagine seeing Ozzy Osbourne like that because somebody who was a lot more lively, and then seeing him being strapped down or contained or confined to a chair because he can't, do what he usually used to do anymore. It hurts. It hurts to see.
It does. So, luckily he's moved on from this realm to the next, wherever he ends up.
Were you a big Black Sabbath fan?
Not really. But if you enjoy music, you still respect the music. You respect the genre to some degree.
The dude had a lot of hits, man.
Yeah,
he had a lot of hits
for sure. I didn't listen to them regularly, but Crazy Train, Highway. I almost said Highway to Hell. Crazy Train was a huge song that I listened to quite a bit.
Yeah.
And, Changes. I just discovered that Changes was an Ozzy Osbourne song because it's the theme song to Big Mouth.
Yep.
And I never put the two together that it was an Ozzy song, but I do like that song.
Oh, I did immediately. Oh, I love Changes. Yeah, he crosses the genre of hip hop and rock and metal rock. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
to see so many hip hop artists even show love and show their condolences to Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh yeah, and in the past few years, he's just been a pop culture icon in general.
Yeah, exactly. Wrestling as well, WWE too.
Yeah. So if you didn't know Black Sabbath, you still knew Ozzy from the various things he's been a part of. I think he was in a World of Warcraft commercial a while back.
Yeah, he was. Yep, he was.
So when I say he got promoted to King of Hell, it does come from a place of respect. I don't think he's burning in hell. I don't. No. Afterlife wise, I don't know where the man went. But to be honest, James, if you were to die and go to hell, and upon the throne on which the Dark One sits is Ozzy Osbourne, I'd be like, I think this place is going to be okay.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah.
I'd be a little reassured. It's still going to suck, but Ozzy's here.
Yeah,
he's running. He's running the
I see what you're
place.
saying.
Cool.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Also, too, I want to add this little nugget too in here. A lot of people, if you didn't know Black Sabbath, you probably known him from the Sharon Osbourne show, the reality show used to come on, because that's how a lot of people got to know him, from the reality show.
That's true.
Yeah, the reality shows where we all got to know him. My mom used to watch it, and I used to watch it with her, and we used to watch that show all the time, and it was a good show. You know, they played the whole entire family. The whole entire family was on there. You know, Sharon Osbourne was hilarious. You know, Ozzy, you could barely understand him because he's so doggone British.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a cute little show to watch. It was a cute little family show to watch. And that was kind of like the first, not the first family, what you call it, reality show. Because I think we've had other family reality shows. We had Hulk Hogan.
But it was so different
but it was so different because it wasn't any drama.
Yeah. They were just, well, it's also just like all of Ozzy's antics on the show.
Yeah. It was just Ozzy's antics.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to see all this behind the scenes stuff. And I just thought that was a dope show. And I hate to see that. You know, it was already a rough 24 hours before that with the next person we're going to talk about. And then seeing Ozzy, I was like, God, dog, man, that sucks.
I know. Just it's 2025. It's coming for everybody.
So R.I.P. Ozzy.
Yeah. Reign in peace is what I said. Reign in peace.
Yeah. God bless him, man.
Wherever you are, reign in peace.
And then 24 hours before that, we got the news about Malcolm-Jamal Warner passing away. Formerly known, if you don't know him, built the Cosby Show as Theo. And he, when I first saw that had happened, I didn't know what had happened. All I saw was RIPs and people showing me pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally got to see what he had passed away over, because he never done drugs. Malcolm-Jamal Warner never done drugs. None of those Cosby kids never done any drugs and stuff like that. A lot of those kids that was from the 80s that were like black, like from the Different World to Cosby Show, they never done any drugs like that. So I knew it couldn't have been drugs. So I knew it had to be some type of like accident or something. And then when they said it was a drowning accident, he drowned in the Caribbean. He was with his family, and those high tides, man, it takes you out. It takes you out to the point.
The riptides.
Those riptides. And when I found that out, that's how he passed away. I was just totally devastated.
That was a shocking one.
He had a very profound. Yeah, it's a very shocking one because you knew it couldn't have been drugs. You knew it couldn't have been drugs. You knew it couldn't have been suicide because he lived a very healthy life, and he's very open about his life.
Well, it's also his age, right? You look at his age
too,
and you're like, wow, he was 58, I think.
I think 58 or 54.
Late 50s for sure.
Yeah, late 50s for sure.
So it was just like, wow, that guy. Wow.
And Theo, for whatever you want to think about Cosby, fine, whatever. But that show was very pivotal in the black community and culturally because of everything it stood for. As a black family that's not struggling, a black family that's it's not acting like a satire, a corny satire. It was about a family that was sort of like middle class, but they all, he didn't have any drug problems or anything like that. He had two stable parents. He had a family. He had his sisters that was with him and that was supporting him every chance he got. He went to college. He ended up, and I'm talking about the character of Theo. He went to college. He did all the things that, you want a child to do. He went through all the progressions. He had the being young and being naive and want to be on his own. Then he had to grow up and learn how to be a man. All those things he learned on that show. And I think a lot of black kids, a lot of black young men followed that trait. And it was just a cool thing to watch, from haircuts to fashion.
Right.
And then as Malcolm-Jamal Warner transitioned from that, he did voiceovers. He did a lot of voiceovers for cartoons. He did Magic School Bus. He played the producer. And I remember that his voice is very recognizable. So I always knew when it was him. I said, oh, I know who that is. That's Theo. like because you know his voice because it's very monotone. It's very deep. So he had a very deep voice. Then he would do voiceover cartoons. Then he also had his own another show with Eddie Griffin called Malcolm and Eddie. That was a dope show. That stayed on for like four or five seasons, if I'm not mistaken. That was a good show. And then from there, after that show ended, he pretty much just did a little miscellaneous shows here and there, still doing voiceovers, and just doing just touching every piece of avenue that he possibly can. And then he started doing music, and he got Grammy nominated too.
Oh, wow.
Jazz music. He started doing jazz, and he also started doing poetry.
Dang.
So he lived a life all the way around.
Yeah, that's incredible.
He lived a life all the way around and wasn't really, settled into just one thing. He music was his passion. I think music and poetry was probably his biggest passion. And, as far as work wise, and then he finally talked about his family, and that was cool too. To hear him talk about him having a daughter, because he always kept his private life private. He never really talked about anything else. He didn't really talk about his family in the public eye, and he was never in the public eye. Like I say, he was never in the public eye for anything, miscellaneous or any drug use or anything. And, that never gets talked about enough, because a lot of these, we always talk about the bad side of Hollywood and how these kids get corrupted, once they're in entertainment. But he never done any of that stuff. None of those guys, any of those kids did that. Raven Simone, she was great. Keisha Knight Pulliam, all these kids that were product of the 80s, Kadeem Harrison from Different World, all these people, they weren't in drug use, but they never get talked about,
Right. Well, the bad outweighs the good sometimes.
Oh yeah, of course. The negative outshines the positive any day of the week.
Right. It just makes better news on television, right?
Of course.
The upsetting part of that.
Yeah, the upsetting part of the news that always makes it. It always makes it so.
Yeah.
That really struck me when I heard about Malcolm-Jamal Warner, man. And it sucked.
Yeah, that's that was the biggest surprise, was because he was still young in regards to some of the other celebrities that died recently. So it's just wow, to be taken out by, an unfortunate riptide or current. It was just the terrible way to go too. Drowning is
terrible way to go.
Drowning is not a fun way to go.
Yeah, especially when you're with your family. Another family incident.
Yeah, tragic accident. Yeah, I don't really know how
Kobe.
I don't really know how Ozzy went out. I hope in his sleep.
I think it was probably natural causes, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't really read up on it.
Well, it was from the Parkinson's. I think complications with the Parkinson's or whatever.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But I still hope it was as peaceful as it could have been.
I'm pretty sure it was,
I really haven't read up on how it went out or anything like that, but yeah. And I mean, also I think most people were just Ozzy made it this far.
Yeah, he made it this far, right?
All the drugs and alcohol and everything else he consumed. So it's for him, it was just okay. Well, that kind of tracks, I suppose. But
the one thing I will say, man, with those two people, with Ozzy Osbourne, and we're going to move on to the last one, Ozzy Osbourne and Malcolm-Jamal Warner, all I saw was just well wishes, condolences, positive stories.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Stuff of love. And that's all I saw with Malcolm-Jamal Warner, within those 24 hours, and Ozzy Osbourne, of how those two people changed their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, of how these people changed other people's lives. And I thought that was so dope to hear. Hearing young men talk about, yeah, man, my dad put me on the Black Sabbath. Or yeah, man, different Bill the Cosby Show and Theo made me want to dress like this and maybe want to go to college. It's cool to hear these type of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was really dope. And then you get to this morning, and then I see TMZ.
And
I see Adam. It. Yeah, Adam have actually sent me the picture. Hulk Hogan passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Bollea, who I stopped calling Hulk Hogan a long time ago because of the respect that I had lost for him.
Yeah.
It's complicated, man. Hulk Hogan. I've been thinking about the whole time before we did the podcast how I was going to talk about Hulk Hogan, because it's very, very, very complicated. You go from this guy who everyone looked up to as a hero and a role model, and you knew it was a cartoon. He was a cartoon character,
right? Another pop culture
life.
icon, really.
Exactly.
Both him and Ozzy, pop culture icons to some degree. Hulk Hogan was everywhere back in the day.
Oh yeah, back in the 80s, man. Back in the 70s,
in the
and
90s,
80s, like,
early 2000s too. People. People always made jokes or. People always made references to Hulk Hogan and like the way he talks, like the way he does his wrestling speeches. Like, let me tell you something, brother.
But he was, but the 80s is where he really made his. In the 70s when Andre the Giant, and
that was the prime
his,
time. Yeah,
that was it. He was Stone Cold. He was The Rock. He carried the ball and he ran with it. Yeah. He carried the ball and ran with it.
Wasn't he in that the Three Ninjas movie? Remember that from back in the day? Three Ninjas.
He was in Three Ninjas, Suburban Commando. What's that other? It was a maid movie he did where he played like a maid, and he had to take care of these 3 kids. Like, none of the movies he did were ever really quality movies.
Oh, of course not.
They wasn't like Hulk. They wasn't like Stone Cold. I mean, they wasn't like the Rock movies. They weren't very quality movies. They were just we got to get this guy on something. Like, he was on. I remember just seeing him on lunch boxes and T-shirts and everything, man. Toys, merchandise. Like, he was the biggest overact in the world. And over time, you see these different things, and you see like different wrestlers, the sprinkling of different wrestlers talk about him, and you don't really pay attention to it because it's like, oh man, these guys is jealous because they don't really have the career that Hulk Hogan had,
right?
And they didn't carry the ball the way that Hulk Hogan had. Mm-hmm. So you hear these stories and you really don't pay attention to it. And then further along, you see his show, his show he did with his wife, his family. Hogan Knows Best.
Oh yeah,
which was a really good show. It came on VH1. I enjoyed watching this show because it gave you a peek behind Hulk Hogan. And like I say, I was a very Hogan. I was a very, very big Hulk Hogan fan. So you see all those different things, and then as you get older and older and older, you still have this love and this respect for Hulk Hogan until you see this video, which, granted, it was in his house. Somebody recorded him. It didn't mean to get out. Not saying that it's okay to be racist behind closed doors or in front of closed doors, but when you hear that audio of him saying those things, those racial things, it guts you.
Yeah.
It guts you.
Yeah.
It gutted a lot of black kids because we never would have thought that Hulk Hogan would have ever said something like that. It's like, that's what you think about black young men, So to say those different things, that hurt. That hurt a lot of people. And over the time, he tried to apologize for it. He tried to apologize in the locker room, to the wrestling locker room, and the wrestling community. And I think some people accepted it and some people didn't. So you had that.
Well, even if you accept it, it's still like one of those things that's in the back of your mind when you think about this person.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can like forgive and forget or whatever, but at the same time, like it's always kind of, it's always going to be there, Like the wound,
you're right. Mm-hmm.
The wound may heal, but there still will be a scar.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right. And sometimes it felt like it was being a little bit disingenuous because there was a couple of black wrestlers that were kind of like, I don't really want to hear this right now. And the way you're saying it as if you're sorry you got caught, but not sorry about what you said.
Yeah, that's a common practice in apologies sometimes.
Oh yeah, like, are you sorry that you said it? Or are you sorry you got caught?
Right.
So, after he said those things, and he kind of went into kind of like seclusion in Florida, kind of done his thing. You saw him pop up in WWE here and there. So some people loved him, some people hated him. But I think as time went on, more erosion went on. And then to the point now, you're hitting this wall where he's supporting somebody who clearly his support, it does not mean anything because the guy that he's supporting is a very vile and a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, wow. So now you're doubling down you feel like this guy's doubling down now.
Yeah.
So now at this point, you at a full blown. Even if you accepted the apology, you're at a full blown now. I don't give a crap about Hulk Hogan anymore.
Yeah.
You know, showing up to conventions, ripping the shirts, coming out with his own beer. You know, real American beer.
Real American beer.
Which I don't, and it is just, I've never seen somebody who, and then you, after those things, after his support for Trump, and then you hear all these different stories about what Hulk Hogan did in the past. Then that's when you start going back in your mind. It's like, well, maybe they did have a point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were right. And it's just, man, it's just complicated. It's complicated because the wrestler Hulk Hogan was a damn good wrestler, and without Hulk Hogan, there would be no WWE.
Right.
There just wouldn't be a WWE. I don't care what anybody tell you.
Right. He's one of the classics. He's one of the guys. You know, he was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Or maybe not the beginning, but like the early days.
Yeah, the early days. You know, he was that guy. You know, he put wrestling on the map. You know, he put WWE on the map. I'm talking about WWE pop culture. He put it on the map. Before The Rock, Stone Cold, he was the guy. But Terry Bollea, the person, I could care less about his death. And I'm sorry to say that. And it hurts to say that. But I just don't. I shouldn't say I don't care about his death, but it's just I don't really feel anything.
Hogan?
You know, no, I don't. Hulk Hogan, the person. I'm sorry that we lost him. But Terry Bollea, I'm sorry, Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. I'm sorry that he's gone.
Yeah.
But Terry Bollea, the person, I just don't really feel anything.
Yeah.
You know?
That's kind of how I felt when I heard the news this morning. I was like, oh, and then just kind of moved on.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you just kind of move on because
I do find it interesting because I think Fox Nation just announced that they were partnering with Hulk Hogan to do their own like wrestling show, like they were going to do their own version of the WWE. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was going to be called like something else, like Real American, whatever, because like the Real American brand that he's got going on. But I had just seen that report like a couple days ago, or over the weekend, or however long ago. It was very recent. So to hear that, he passed away, it was just like, oh, wow. They, I just saw them announce they were going to do a wrestling thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's just, it's just one of those situations, man, where, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I can't compartmentalize, because I can compartmentalize. I've compartmentalized my entire life. I compartmentalize people around me that have done horrible, heinous things. And I've had to compartmentalize it and accept them for the whole totality of their entire life. Mm-hmm. But, it's just, I respect anybody who can't do it. I respect anybody who can do it. And I'll say it like that. 'Cause I've seen people online. I've seen people that I follow that are catching hell that say, hey, man, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. You're a big influence on me. And then they're getting bashed online for saying rest in peace, which, I get both sides of it. But it's just like, I tend to say, hey, man, let that person have what they want to have. If they want to say rest in peace to them, that's cool. I did not like his support for Donald Trump. I did not like his racial stance that he did. And that's okay. And that's okay. It's all in what you can compartmentalize. That's what I say.
Right.
We all make mistakes.
Well, also to go back to the support of Donald Trump was when he was at the RNC, or he was at some rally. I think it might have been the RNC. When they brought him out, I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever, because he did a whole wrestling speech. He made a wrestling speech and then like ripped his shirt off, like the biggest, like, I don't know. It was so silly to me, where I was just like, this. Like people can't be buying this, right? Like this is what Republicans think of their voter base is. Like, you'll just eat this up, and they did eat this up. But it's like, I don't know, the caricature of what Hulk Hogan did. I was just like, this can't.
Oh, I mean, look,
this is ridiculous.
That pretty much killed any momentum that you thought that he could come back with.
Yeah,
that killed any momentum.
Yeah,
and I'm not just saying, look, and to put a bow on this, everybody in WWE back in the 80s and 70s, I don't like to think that all of them were probably pieces of crap. they're not really, probably wasn't the best person in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Macho Man.
Got a lot of drugs, got a lot of fame.
Exactly.
A lot of vices going on in the 80s, you know?
Yeah. So I would like to think that none of these guys were the best people in the world except for freaking Junkyard Dog and Coco Beware. I'm not just saying that because they black, but I'm just saying that because they were, they were like kind of outliers. Coco Beware,
right?
Coming around with a damn parrot on his damn shoulder. So I would like to think that none of these guys were the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
So
the 80s was a wild time, you know.
Yeah, it was a wild time. So rest in peace to Hulk Hogan, or however you choose to see fit to honor Hulk Hogan. But that's my piece of story I wanted to share.
I'm just upset. He helped get Trump elected, and he checked out 7 months in.
Yeah,
like, you're not gonna stick around for the 4 years. You're not gonna stick around to see what else happens.
I'm pretty sure. I would like to think that I'm pretty sure that seeing how things are going down now, especially with Epstein and stuff, I'm pretty sure he's like, I'm glad I checked out. I'm glad I checked out.
Right, he was like, all right, I'm out. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So I've seen enough.
I've seen enough. I'm good. I'm good for today.
Flick the off switch on. Flick the switch off and all right.
On and off. I know Brooke Hogan, she's on Instagram, but she separated herself from the family because she doesn't really want anything to do with the family anymore. So I'm pretty sure she could be probably devastated. That's her dad. So I'm not expecting her to be, stoic. And her son, and the son too, Nick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And his ex-wife.
Yeah, Brooke and Nick are his kids.
Yeah.
Bop doop doop beep bop.
How much more of this is left?
Zoo boop.
Stuck at a scat show?
Got the room where boop doo.
Well, don't worry. Just listen to the On The Go show with Jacob and James.
Oh, come on. He has a trumpet?
So the first trailer I want to discuss is, I guess, Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat would be the biggest trailer I think that we have to discuss today. Well, yeah, one of the biggest ones. Mortal Kombat 2. We finally got the trailer. They released the poster, I think, the day before the trailer came out, and they released a fake trailer with Johnny Cage with Carl Urban as Johnny Cage,
which I thought was cool.
It was very clever,
very smart,
very clever. The full trailer comes out. And my initial reaction is it just kind of looks like the same story from the first movie again. Just Carl Urban, like the Johnny Cage character swapped out or the Cole character from the first movie swapped out with Johnny Cage for this one.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think they're probably trying to make up for the mistake of their first one.
Yes.
Because
wholeheartedly,
because that's how it should have been.
Yes.
That's how it should have been from the jump. It should have been Johnny Cage, because Johnny Cage is your one human. I mean, of course, you got Jax, and then you got Sonya.
Right. But Johnny Cage is also just ridiculous as a character.
He's ridiculous.
Himself.
He's the overtop person. He is your avatar.
Yeah, he's supposed
to be your avatar.
He's got no military training. He's an actor. He's a pretty boy. So he's the everyman of this wild ass series where you're fighting monsters and other dimension creatures or whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, it just kind of feels like they're doing the first movie plot again, but like Johnny Cage instead of Cole. And I guess Cole's a part of this because they have a poster with him.
Yeah, I saw the character poster.
A lot of people are speculating he's going to get like ripped apart in the first 5 minutes of the movie or something because, for one, I heard they weren't going to bring him back, and two, he's not in the trailer at all. So, but he has a poster, so I assume he's not going to be in the movie very, very long. Probably not.
They just probably wanted to put a bow on it.
Right.
You can't just end it like the way you want to end it. So
right.
You just like, okay, let me just.
To be honest, the idea of them like creating extra characters for the movie is not a bad idea. I mean, Mortal Kombat does it every game, right? They always add new characters, and there's a lot you can do with it. I just think the mistake was making a new character the main character of your game, and then also making it like a prequel to the actual tournament. Because that's the story of the first one, right? They're all training and getting ready for the real Mortal Kombat tournament. And then by the time the end of the movie rolls around, you're ready to see the tournament, and the movie ends. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, to a certain extent, I disagree with creating new characters. This Mortal Kombat doesn't need new characters. It has enough. It has too many characters, to be honest with you.
Right.
And that's kind of the problem. That was kind of the real issue. Is like you created a character when you already got Scorpion, and you got a story that you just already had. And from the first one from 1995, you had Liu Kang, and Liu Kang was really your primary story. He was always the primary story, even in the first one from 1995.
Yeah, Liu Kang. And
I know what you're saying. Like they have characters in the movie, I mean in the game, but their continuity is also drenched in Mortal Kombat lore.
Yeah,
so it's not like
the continuity is usually set around like Liu Kang, Sonya, Jax, Johnny Cage. So those are your main characters. But I mean, if you want to make a character for a background character or an opponent character that's just going to get ripped apart in a fight, sure. That's what I mean. Is like I don't think making a character to be a main character, but like making a character to be a supporting fighter or whatever that shows up and gets beaten up or ripped apart or murdered or whatever if you need to fill that time. But then again, there's so many characters from the games anyway that you don't really need to create a character.
That's what I'm saying. You don't really need to create any characters.
Yeah, so it's like a 50-50 thing. And so, yeah, I don't know. What did you think of the characters that are included in this movie? The new characters that we're getting. We're getting Baraka. We're getting, I think, Jade is in it. We're supposed to get Quan Chi also, who's like Shao Kahn's like, is it Shao Kahn? I think it's Shao Kahn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shao Kahn's like right-hand man kind of thing. We're getting Sindel. Sindel's in here.
Yep.
Who else are we getting? We're getting a few characters. I was trying to keep up in the trailer.
Oh.
Mortal Kombat 2. Give me your posters. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're getting Scorpion. We're getting Noob Saibot, which is just Sub-Zero, Dark Sub-Zero. Mm-hmm. We're getting him in this. Katana. Is it Katana? Yeah, it's Katana.
Yeah, Katana. Yep.
Katana Jade. And Jade. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're getting Melina.
No, probably not.
And we're getting Raiden. But was Melina? I think Melina was in the first one.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really saw that movie since.
I haven't seen it since it first came out. And then honestly, some of the characters I get mixed up for like who shows up in the games and who showed up in the movie.
Yeah. So my honest assessment of the trailer as a whole, I just kind of like at it because I mean, I'm sure I'll probably get more excited when it actually rolls around. When October rolls around and it comes out, I'll probably get a lot more excited. But I just really wasn't really pumped about it. It looks good. I'm happy that Netherworlds is a part of it, and I'm happy that the creators of the game are having a lot more say in how the movie looks. 'Cause it looks just exactly like the video game. So I thought that was dope. But right now I'm just kind of like I wasn't like over the moon about it.
No, I feel the same way. Just because again, it looks like the same plot from the first one, except maybe they're really doing the Mortal Kombat tournament this time around.
Yeah,
and I'm not really sold on Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
I can understand that.
I don't. Yeah, I
get it.
I just don't know how I feel about that. I think it's just like he's such an older actor at this point. Yeah. I feel like it needs to be like a younger, cockier guy. And then also Carl Urban, like we've seen him in a bunch, like he's in a ton of stuff. Like even before The Boys, he was always a supporting character somewhere. He was Dredd in the newer Judge Dredd movie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know.
Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek. He's in the
yep.
Star Treks. He's in a bunch of stuff. We see him a lot.
Oh yeah.
So, and I don't know. I'm not sold on him as Johnny Cage. You know.
I get that. I get that. I actually kind of liked them. I actually kind of like. He was like the one part I actually did like about the trailer.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I get it. I get it. It's, you know, it might take some getting used to. You know, when the movie actually comes out and you actually have to see him on screen. He's gonna do it.
Maybe I just need to see the movie.
Yeah, you probably just gotta see the movie.
So we'll see how it goes. And it's funny because, you know, when you compare this to the Twisted Metal series, right? Because both of them, the first Mortal Kombat movie was leading up to the tournament. Twisted Metal, the series, was also leading up to the tournament. But I think the thing that made Twisted Metal better in doing this is, for one, they had this TV series, so you could really build up. You could build up on your characters that you're going to use in season 2, and then you also created an original story for season 1. It's not like Mortal Kombat, they were training for the tournament the whole time, right?
True.
Twisted Metal, the series, it set up your world to explain like why this murder demolition derby would be acceptable, for one, and then 2. Like I said, it just did a lot of like character building, and it was fun. It was a fun series, and it is a fun series. So I don't know where I'm going with this exactly. It's just I think the way they approached it was better than the way Mortal Kombat approached it, if that makes sense. Which very similar. They both lead up to the title tournament of the properties, right? But there's just like a subtle difference there, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I get it. I think I get where you're coming from about it.
Right.
I'm just not very excited. I'm just not very excited for Mortal Kombat.
No, I'm more excited
I'm sure I will be.
I'm more excited for season 2 of Twisted Metal, which comes out in like a week or so at the time of this recording.
Yeah,
I'm more excited for that.
I think I was more excited for the Tron trailer that I saw. I think I was more excited for that.
You're excited for Tron?
Yeah, that trailer looks really good. That trailer looks really, really visually. It's gonna be probably one of the more stunning movies.
Tron
2025.
Tron is such a weird series, man.
It's a very weird series, but it looks good though. I will admit that. I hate that Jared Leto's mixed up in it.
You're right,
but you know, it looks good though.
It's such a weird idea for a series. First of all, like the original came out in like what, the 80s? I'm looking. 82. Mm-hmm. 82, the original comes out. And then the sequel comes out in like what, 2010, 2009, something like that.
That did not do good.
Did not do good. Not at all. And then here we go with a third movie.
Now, the ride is actually pretty good at Disney World. That's what everybody keeps telling me. The ride is awesome. The roller coaster ride. Because you're riding in the bicycle on the.
Is that a newer ride or is it an older ride?
This is kind of an older and newer ride. You know, they've had it for a minute, but everyone loves the ride, the roller coaster ride. But you know, it's just a franchise that's very, very, very weird. And you know, the concept of the story actually is unique, and I do like it. I just hate that Jared Leto's a part of it. That's all.
Yeah, it's really
all
annoying.
the crap that he got going on.
Yeah, that's probably going to hurt the film a bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mickey Mouse was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Yeah, but then again, I don't know. You haven't heard much more from. I think he had some allegations against him, so there hasn't been.
Yeah, they're all allegations. They're not really they're not criminal cases. They're like civil cases type stuff.
Yeah, so there's not really much more going on with that right now. But what's interesting is 9 Inch Nails does a soundtrack for Tron,
which I thought was pretty damn dope. Mm-hmm. I will admit that is dope.
Well, Trent Reznor does a lot of composing, so. I think he did the Interstellar soundtracks as well.
I think so.
He did some other soundtracks like from a recent film, but he's big in the composing, so it's always interesting to see his name pop up, and you're like, oh yeah, 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, I thought that was freaking dope. Like the song that came out with it, I was like, I'm all in.
Yeah, I'm
all in.
So well, that's interesting. I have no desire to see Tron Aries.
Yeah, all right, I get you. It's all good. I get you. I get it.
Next up, we have Predator Badlands. We finally got a full look at that movie. Did you watch the trailer for this?
Yeah, I saw it.
I thought it looked great. I think the story is really interesting. I think him partnering up with the synthetic or her, I don't know, is it a female predator this time around? I've heard it's a female predator, but I'm not for sure.
I don't know.
But I think the dynamic between the predator and the synthetic is interesting. The fact that like they're trying to get through this planet is neat, and also again a little nod to, hey, there might be some Alien versus Predator action later on, but a better approach, a newer approach, right? So everything that the Predator series has been doing lately, I've been all for. Prey was really great. We talked about the Killer of Killers. I really enjoyed that. I just love how every movie is like a new aspect of the Predator lore and what's going on with like that race of creatures. Because again, they're not really evil creatures per se. They hunt. That's their whole thing. It's like they just hunt.
Yep.
They're not like the Xenomorphs where they're just like bloodthirsty. They're not trying to take over Earth. They're not trying to like take over any or conquer any planet. Really, they're just. That's their culture, and that's what they do. So it's always interesting to see different aspects of the race of aliens that these things are. And then they're called Yautja. Yautja?
Yeah, I think you're right, Yautja.
Yeah. Let me see. Predator. Go ahead.
No, I think it's going to be a pretty good movie. Hopefully it's a pretty good movie. It's the first time of the Predator movies being back to the movie theater since... last Predator
the
movie.
Predator,
the Predator
with the super autism.
So I really hope this one works out. I didn't really enjoy Killers that much. I didn't really care for the stories that much, but I did like the ending of it because the ending makes sense.
Yes,
but this one looks pretty good. This one looks pretty good. Come out in November. I think that's an odd choice for a movie to come out, but
it is because it's around Christmas time. It's past October, so we're getting past Halloween, which this would work around Halloween time.
Yeah, most definitely.
But yeah, you're right.
So I think that's an odd choice.
Yeah, it is. But it's not January. January is a killer month for movies.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
So, but I think it looks great. I'm so excited to see this movie. I'm excited to see because he's doing another one. Dan Trachtenberg. He's got a third movie in the works because he did Prey. And then he got 3 more movies. So we had Killer of Killers, and then we had Badlands, and there's a third movie he's making, which I know he said he's like super excited for that one. So I'm curious to see where this leads. And this might lead to an Alien versus Predator.
It might.
Well, but like, a better version. Because we have Alien Earth coming out too. I think Alien Earth comes out around the same time, does it not? It's either August or November is Alien Earth.
I think August, if I'm not mistaken. They've been promoting the hell out of it, so I think it has to be August.
Yeah, you might be right. August 12th, yeah. So yeah, we have Alien Earth coming, and then we have Predator Badlands. So using Alien Earth and Predator Badlands to tease like an Alien versus Predator film might not be out of the realm of possibility.
It might not be. Who knows, man?
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting.
That's
interesting.
Dope.
But I'm super stoked for this movie. I'm more stoked for this movie than Mortal Kombat for sure.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I probably, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'll probably get excited once the time rolls around. But for right now, nah.
Nice. And then final trailer we have to review is Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Electric Boogaloo. I already know your opinion on Five Nights at Freddy's. You're not really into it. No. I don't think you liked the first one very much. You're kind of surprised they got a sequel.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Five Nights at Freddy's. It looks interesting. I'm interested to see what more of the lore from the games they implement because that's the most fascinating thing about the games is like the lore that's inside them because there's very little lore. There's very little known lore when you play the games. It's a lot of like digging around for Easter eggs, and the fan base got very invested in learning about like the backstories and all this stuff. And then over time, like each game that came out, there was just like little sprinklings of, why these animatronics are haunted by these kids, like why the villain does what he does. So that's what has me interested in Five Nights at Freddy's. But overall, the movie just looks okay. They're going way off script from the video games. Obviously, they have to because there's not really a lot to the video games.
There's not really a lot to go off of. Yeah.
So you kind of have to you have to play with it a little bit and try to make it make sense for a film. So it looks like the animatronics are leaving the pizzeria this time around, and they're going out into the world, and they might be killing people outside of the world, or they might be going after the main characters from the first movie. I'm not for sure. I think Matthew Lillard is coming back as a villain because
he's coming back
because a little bit of spoilers, I suppose, for Five Nights at Freddy's is like he's stuck in that costume, that Golden Freddy costume, because he's a serial killer and he gets caught up in there, and then he just like inhabits it, and so he's like the main villain of the franchise.
Yep.
And the games are still going on, and honestly, I think the lore's gotten so convoluted where it's like such a mess. But like a few years ago, they actually made a game where it was like a definitive end to the series, and I love watching the ending of it because it involves like I think the former business partner of Matthew, what would be Matthew Lillard's character, right? The Purple Man, whatever you want to call him. I forget his real name in the series, but the former business partner ends up opening a fake pizzeria and then getting all these animatronics back in there. And then he basically makes it like a death trap for them. And once he gets all the animatronics in there and the Purple Man, Matthew Lillard's character, he sets everything on fire. And then as everyone's burning up, he's kind of like giving his goodbyes to like each of the animatronics, because they're all children. They're all dead children that Matthew Lillard had murdered. And so he's giving this goodbye, and he's like apologizing to them that, you know, they had this unfortunate fate. I think one of them was his daughter, so there's like an emotional thing there. And then he gets to the villain of the series, the Golden Freddy, the Purple Man, and he's just like telling him like, hey, you know, like I hope this is it, and like I hope you rot in hell, and blah 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 blah, and they all burn up, and that's how that game ends, and that they seemed to be a definitive end, and then it just kept going. But I always like to watch that every now and then, just because it's such good writing for this weird little video game series, and that's that's really my only interest in this series, is just like, wow, like the way that game ends is like, I don't know, just good writing, I guess.
I mean,
it's a good speech. You know, I'm a sucker for a good speech.
I mean, typically that's what you would probably want from a movie, is good writing.
Yeah.
You know, I also want to talk about something Kevin Feige said I thought was kind of stupid, but yeah, that's typically what you want. You know, I saw the trailer. It looks fine, I guess.
Yeah, it just looks okay.
I'm probably gonna watch it. I saw Matthew Little's coming back, and I saw Homeboy from
Josh Hutcherson
coming back.
Yeah.
The other guy's coming back. I said, okay, so we're doing a Scream reunion. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see where they take the series. Like, if they do a third one, how long are they going to continue this? You know, obviously it has a fan base. You and I are not part of that fan base per se. It's a younger crowd that are kind of into it. I'd say like people maybe 5 or 6 years younger than us.
Yeah, are
really kind of the fan base, and even young. I don't know, kids flock to it for some reason. It's like it's a jump scare game. I don't know. I don't know how young the demographic gets, but
true.
But a lot of people do like it, so it'll be interesting to see where the series goes and how it continues.
When top scientist Reed Richards led his team of explorers into space, they were blasted by a shower of cosmic rays. Endowed with incredible powers, their lives would change forever as they became the Fantastic Four.
But no, Kevin Feige had like an interview. He's making the rounds because Fantastic Four comes out this week or whatever, which on the day of this recording is already out. But yeah, he had did like an interview. He was talking about the mistakes and stuff that he's done wrong. A lot of pointing fingers is what I heard out of that interview. That's all I heard. A lot of pointing fingers, and not at yourself. And then I don't know if you heard recently, because Zach had sent it to me. He sent a message to me on Instagram like he always does. Thank you, Zach, for that. Because you send messages 24/7, no matter what, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, man, he's a loyal listener. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, well, I'm going to send you a message 3 o'clock in the morning while you sleep.
I sleep with my phone on silent, so.
Oh, okay. It must be a blessing. But yeah, he sent me a message about apparently Kevin Feige likes to. Well, they're not likes. They're still in the process of writing this Doom movie while the movie's actually shooting. And James Gunn said that I don't want to do that. If the script is not ready to roll, then I'm not going to sit up here and do
common
rewrites.
Sense. Yeah,
that's common sense. And look, I agree with James Gunn. I also agree with Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige's like, well, sometimes I like to do it this way because it creates, I like to bounce things off of, the people that I work with, which is fine, but it also puts a lot of hell on your visual department.
Right, especially when most of your movies are CG now.
Exactly.
You kind of have to have an idea of what you're drawing in on the computer.
So they kind of messes your visual department up, and that's kind of why you've had crappy visual effects in a lot of your movies. Now all because the script is finished, ready to roll out, doesn't always mean that the movie's good either. So it's a happy medium that it has to be with it. I would rather take the latter and have my script finished, but it's a happy medium that has to be taken with both.
Right.
Well, I just thought that was kind of like the whole interview thing that Kevin Feige did was just all a lot of point finger blaming.
You know what? He's a little shaken up. Superman did really good. Superman was a great kickoff for the DCU, and
he said it too. He said that. He said that as well. He said, "I liked Superman. I liked David Cornsweat's Superman." So you're right. He probably is a little shaken up.
Yeah, and and the MCU has been kind of shaky the last couple of years. They've been trying to do new things, but there's not like a real succinct plan. The Disney Plus series alone have been, I don't know, pass fail at best. I don't know. Some of them are pretty good, and some of them are not. And I don't think that's anything to do with like the actors they have portraying these characters in the Disney Plus films or series. It's the stories, or it's the fact that like we don't know where any of this is leading up, and it's obvious it's leading somewhere, but it's not like a fun ride like it was with the original slates, right? Because we kind of had an idea of where everything was leading from the very first Avengers movie, I'd say. And even before then, people kind of had an idea, but I think Avengers like really solidified. We're like, oh, they're doing that first end credit scene, right? Where they're like, oh, Thanos is going to come at some point, right?
Or Nick Fury.
And Nick Fury, yeah, exactly. You had small little teases leading up to bigger things. Ever since Endgame, we don't know what the heck's going on.
Well, also too that there's no emotional investment in any of these characters.
No,
like we see them in one movie and then that's it. We don't see them anymore.
Yeah. Or they're introduced as a side character in another movie, and then they get a Disney Plus series. But then not all the audience doesn't have Disney Plus.
No,
as much as Disney would love that, not everybody who like watched the Marvel movies has a Disney Plus subscription.
No, of course not.
And to go from WandaVision to like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, to be like, oh yeah, Doctor Strange sequel is coming out, but in order to really get what's going on here, you have to watch like 2 TV series before you really fully understand what's happening. It's not a good way to like put your stuff together. I don't know. We've talked about this to nauseum before,
Oh yeah, but like I said, there's no emotional investment. You had your emotional core. You had Captain America, Iron Man. You even had Black Panther to a certain extent. Like you had an emotional core that was ready to run through a wall. You wanted to see how these characters were going to end up. And with the new generation of this new Marvel, this new stuff, you don't have any emotional connection to any of these people.
Yeah, you're not really tied to anybody.
No, you just don't have it.
Yeah, you're not really tied up to anybody. I think Wanda would have been a good person to tie.
Wanda, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Wanda would have been a good setup because you set her up perfectly in WandaVision, and then Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you have her going a little crazy, but you could have still kept her around, and
you still could have kept her around.
She could have been a core element of the movie. I think Anthony Mackie's Captain America could have been a bigger core element to your new lineup. And
but see, they messed him up.
They messed him up bad.
His character up.
Right.
They messed him up
because Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was like a weird like re-origin of his character, right? Because Steve Rogers gives him the shield, immediately gives it up to the government. That's the plot, and then you're watching 6 episodes of him realizing he needs to be Captain America, and then you finally get to his movie. At this point, it's been like what 4 years.
Well, yeah, it's not only that, Jacob, but also too they watered him down.
They watered him down so bad, and then
because they were too scared to go the other way and say, hey, how about we just go out here and we put the story forward. Let's not take anything out because we're scared of how people are going to feel about it.
Right.
Because we're scared of how bold it is. You can't be scared of how bold something's going to be.
You know, there's been all these like, I don't know, I don't think they're leaks, but there's been all this talk about like the original story for Captain America 4 for it was New World Order, right? It was originally New World Order, and like there was like all this concept art of like the Serpent Society and how they're all like cyborg people. I would have loved to have seen that movie. Like I would have loved to have seen
it too.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that plot. Making this like a pseudo Hulk film did not really work out that well.
Well, if there was a deeper story, and that's what I'm talking about, the emotional aspect of it, there was no. You tried to go.
You're right.
Halfway into something, and you can't do that. You can't go halfway into something. Either go all the way or don't go at all.
Yeah.
And you can't touch the tip of the iceberg because you're scared of something being woke. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't be scared of criticism. You should have just went for it. Really, Falcon and Winter Soldier should have been the first movie of the next trilogy for Captain America. It should have been the
first movie of the trilogy.
It shouldn't have been a series. It should have been the first movie. It should have been a movie of him dealing with being Captain America, transitioning from being just Falcon to Captain America to the introduction of U.S. Agent. You know, you have that power dynamic to where it's like, hey, he gave me the shield, but then the government's like, well, Captain America's technically a government entity, so we're going to give it to this guy instead.
Yep.
You could have played with that a little bit more, and then, you know, lead into Captain America, New World Order, or Brave New World, or whatever you want to call it at this point.
It's just
that should have been the second movie. Yeah, Captain America. Captain America should have been like your new core. Another, like more deeper dive into the Hulk's dynamic would have been great too. Like to see him still struggling as like Professor Hulk or whatever. You know, instead of making him like a goofy character. And I didn't mind the She-Hulk series. I kind of enjoyed it. I like the fourth wall like goofiness of it. I think that's fine. I just think making the Hulk like this weird goofy character and then introducing the Hulk's son at the end of that series again. A plot that's not going to go anywhere, right? Because how many series and how many films have we had since that was like 4 years ago at this point? Does anybody remember he has a kid?
Well, from what Kevin Feige said in the interview, he said, you know, a lot of stuff you're not going to see.
Oh,
unfortunately, you're just not going to see these people anymore.
It's going to get dropped. Yeah,
it's going to get dropped. Like Harry Styles, you're probably not going to see him anymore. Charlize Theron, you're probably not going to see that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what's funny? Like Marvel's not a stranger to that. They've done that quite a bit in the past. It's just it hasn't been on this scale, right? There hasn't been so many characters set up that they just want to forget about. There's been a couple things in the original, like leading up to Endgame, like a couple plot points where they just like slowly walked away from or swept under the rug or like just kind of stopped talking about.
Yeah, and
nobody really missed it, but. These are big characters and components to whatever all this is. That's just gonna get cut out entirely and pretty much reboot it. Like let's be serious here. After Secret Wars, they're gonna do a full reboot of this universe. I don't think they're gonna redo Captain America. Not like that kind of a crazy reboot or anything. But I do think they're gonna do a huge reset, and we're gonna go back to like. You know, having a core team or having an emotional component to like some of these films, which is nice, but also it's like it's kind of made the last 6 years of movies since Endgame a waste of time in a way.
Yeah, I mean, so when he was in an interview and he talked about all this stuff, he basically was like, "Look, it was too many characters. He introduced way too many characters,
way too much,
way too many characters, and not no tie-ins or ending." Or with the regular people that he already had,
right?
And you know, that's why he said, "Hey, a lot of people won't make the cut," you know, and that's just gonna be the reality of the situation. Secret Wars, like you said, yes, could be probably the reboot, and it's just gonna be X-Men, Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four, and you'll probably still have Captain America waving out there somewhere. Maybe, who knows? Because the crowd. Because I hate to say it, Jacob, no one really accepted this Captain America movie. They just didn't.
Yeah.
And if by all reports, if it's true that Reed Richards will be leading the Avengers, then I'm not really surprised. I'm just not really surprised. It sucks. It sucks because I think Anthony Mackie does have what it takes to be a leader. But if that happens to be the case, then Marvel has nobody else to blame but themselves for that because they're the ones that did that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I do think I do think it's weird to have Reed Richards lead the Avengers when we're only getting him in one movie beforehand. True. I feel like that's a bit of a rush as well. But also, Doctor Doom is his main rival, so it would make sense to have him lead the team against Doctor Doom. And yeah, it's just kind of curious. I'm curious to see the future of the Fantastic Four after their debut in the MCU because
me too.
This movie looks really good, and I've said it before. I like the new universe that they're in, or the standalone universe that they're in. I'm just kind of upset if they lose it and if they get mixed in with the MCU. You know what I mean? Like I kind of don't want to see that. I want to see more of this retro futuristic world that they're gonna be in.
Well, from what I saw so far, a lot of people are like, man, there's some of the reviews that I saw, without giving away spoilers, they didn't give away any spoilers. They were just saying, hey, man, the world in the Fantastic Four is probably the best part of the movie, and you really want to see more of this.
Yeah,
because it's so beautiful, and the world of it is just it's so nice, man. It's so cool to see.
And you know what?
People say they love that part.
That might be a springboard for their little reboot, right? Like you could have them go back to their world. Maybe they save it from Galactus. Maybe they reset it. Whatever. You got a lot of balls in the air. You got a lot of possibilities there. Maybe they go back there. So then you have Fantastic Four, and then maybe slowly you introduce like retro futuristic versions of other characters. You kind of take it back to the 60s in a way, right? You reintroduce whatever character I don't know. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that would be fitting for that world outside of Spider-Man. Spider-Man would fit in that world, of course, but they got other plans for Spider-Man right now. So yeah, I don't know. They could use that universe as a springboard, and maybe they should. Maybe we should get a refresh or a different universe, a different tone entirely. Again, Superman kind of proved that people like colorful comic book movies again. People really want to see colorful movies. And MCU is colorful, right? But it's not campy. Like it's not campy comic book world, Yeah. So if they do reboot it, I heard a rumor that they might try to reboot Captain America and Iron Man 2, which would really suck. Yeah, I think you leave Iron Man alone. I mean, I don't know. I know they got, like Riri Williams is doing the Ironheart thing, and I need to watch that series. I still have not watched. I have no desire to see any of the Disney Plus series, even Daredevil. I've heard Daredevil is really great. I don't want to sit down and watch a series.
It's like, okay, can you imagine a rebooted world, and you see the Fantastic Four? They're already established. Then you see Iron Man flying by, and then you see Spider-Man swinging, and then you see a laser because it could be your boy Cyclops.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be too upset with that. I wouldn't be too upset, but right. I get it. I get it. It's just one of those situations, man, where Fantastic Four has to get back on. If Fantastic Four can get these people back on the slide, which right now Rotten Tomatoes has it at 88%, which is kind of. I think this movie's going to do the same numbers as Superman.
Well, the thing is, I think the thing is, Fantastic Four can do great. It can do fantastic. Pun intended. It's Doomsday and Secret Wars that are the hurdles, But
at least it'll get you ready for it, though.
It'll get you ready for it, but the next two movies after Fantastic Four are going to be the real hurdles. Because this movie again, it's the Marvel roller coaster. It's every other movie. We're back. We're not back. We're back. It's dead. Yeah. We're back. But I mean, this could just be another, uphill, like, hey, yeah, we're back. And then Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back could just be like, we're entirely done with this. We don't want to.
Yeah.
And that could be the lead up. The answer might just be, let's not make any more of these movies for a while. Let's step back and reevaluate for a couple of years before putting out any more of this.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Doomsday and Secret Wars do like poorly, like beyond poorly for their standards, then yeah, all hell's gonna break loose. Then all hell's gonna break loose. They're gonna probably bring out X-Men a lot more sooner than expected.
Yeah,
all hell's gonna probably break loose. So
But I think the question is, would an X-Men movie be strong enough to revive people's interests?
Oh hell yeah! This is what everybody's been talking about. Like I'm almost tired of talking about the X-Men. Like that's what everybody talk about every freaking time. It's like, when the X-Men coming? When the X-Men coming? We're gonna see the X-Men. I'm tired of seeing all these other people. When you gonna bring the X-Men in? You know, you bring in some mutants. I'm like, I'm tired of talking about the X-Men. To be honest with you, like that's what everybody wants to see. It's the damn X-Men. It's like it's coming. God damn.
I think the downside to the X-Men franchise is like there's so many X-Men characters that if you took out all the X-Men characters from the Marvel universe, you might have almost like both universes might be equal. You know what I mean? Like there's so many mutant characters in all the Marvel comic books that like if you were to take all of them out and put them next to the regular Marvel universe, like you would have the same amount of characters. And there's only like a handful of X-Men characters that always get recycled back into the media. Oh yeah. So well, they already said that when they do this X-Men movie, it's going to be just the core, and they're going to be young. It's going to be the core, and they're going to be young. Not as young as they were in the 20th Century Fox versions, but just a little bit in the middle, somewhere in the middle. So I thought that was pretty cool to know they're going to do it like that. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what they do with it. We'll see what they decide to do. Yeah. So, but it all starts with Fantastic Four tomorrow. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, and Kevin Feige's shaking his boots right now, so he's really hoping this movie does well, and he's really hoping Doomsday does well. Oh, yeah. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom is enough to generate as much interest as they think it does. It generates interest, but I don't know. It's like, let him stay dead. Let him. The fact that you brought it back is just kind of a show that you don't have a lot of faith in it. Oh yeah, well we know that. Well, we already know that. Yeah, they're desperate. They're desperate for a win. So that's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got too, man. That's all I got for today. So, hey, if anybody wants to email us and talk to us about trailers or celebrity deaths or the future of the MCU, you can email us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at On The Go with Jacob and James. You can find James at 9794 on Instagram, and you can find me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio. Without further ado, I'm on the go, James is on the go, and we are all on the go.